Guys, so when does that take time? Yeah, if you got questions, you can ask them. You can either drop them in the chat or you can chime in.
Yeah, I had a question. You and I were interacting on Instagram, and I wanted to ask you a question. I wasn't able to get a response from you on Instagram, so I was thinking maybe it would be better if I spoke to you voice. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to interrupt anything. That's why I was asking if there's a time that's better.
No, go ahead. You can ask your question.
Yeah, so I had kind of pointed out in the Instagram comments that in the Quran, I guess I'm kind of struggling to understand. Do you affirm that the Quran is the word of God?
We personally believe that the Quran has been corrupted. That's not the original Quran from the time of Muhammad.
So you disbelieve in the Quran?
No, we don't disbelieve in it, but we know historically that things have been tampered with. It's not Uthman burnt like a bunch of versions of the Quran.
How do you know that Uthman burnt the versions of the Quran?
Your hadith say that.
So you believe in the hadith?
From a historical standpoint, yeah, but as far as like,
So can I ask you a question about the historical standpoint?
yeah,
So if there's a historical narration that mentions that there was a splitting of the moon, right, in the hadith, you accept that, correct?
no.
Why not? Are you just picking and choosing based on criteria or something, or?
Well, the split in the moon, when you read about it in the Quran, is not talking about something that already happened. It's talking about something that's to happen. So
No, no,
how
no.
does
I'm not
that?
asking you about the Quran. Put that to the side for 1 second. I was asking about the
Yeah,
historical context of the hadith because you were saying from a historical perspective you would accept. I guess I'm asking what is the criteria? Like, how do you determine this hadith is corrupt, or how do you determine this hadith is not corrupt?
we don't determine that.
But you're saying that the hadith are corrupt, right?
What I'm saying is that the hadith was compiled 200 years after the death of Muhammad, right? By people that are not Arab. You know what I'm saying? That had no connection. It's thousands of miles away from Arabia. So if you're talking about taking something at value that came down from people that they heard from this person, that heard from that person, that heard from that person, that said that the prophet did this, that's called hearsay. Like none of that would stand in court. Like in a regular court setting, that's not what's going to stand. What's going to stand is the Quran. The Quran is clear about Allah's hadith is the only hadith. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why would we follow? See, we don't follow hadith religiously. Like, so when y'all follow what y'all follow as far as praying and where y'all get, how to adhere to the five pillars,
Right.
we understand because we Hebrew, so we know that those five pillars already existed. Moses prayed, Jesus prayed, all the prophets prayed before Muhammad. If you want to pray like an Arab and do rakats, that's on you. But you can't say, oh, if you're not doing rakats and you're not praying 5 times, you're not a Muslim.
You're not Muslim.
You can't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that. That's not the criteria.
I understand. What I'm saying is when I asked you about the hadith, or sorry, about the corruption of the Quran, you had mentioned that Uthman burned them. So I was asking you, okay, so how do you know that it was burnt? You said because the hadith said so.
Well, I
So
say
I'm trying to.
no. What I'm saying is, okay, so your hadith says so, and there's other corroborating historical stuff outside of that. It's not just the
Like
hadith.
what? Like what? I haven't heard of them, so you could tell me.
Well, when I find them, I'll send them to you. I don't have it right now, like in front of me. And I'm not about to do that right now. As a matter of
Okay, no,
fact,
no, no. No worries. I'm not trying
as
to,
a matter,
like I said, I'm not trying to interrupt. The other question was specifically in the Quran. It does say the only religion is Islam. 319. I had mentioned this. I don't know what you chose to answer other ones, but not that one. I was curious. What is your thought on that one? Because I know you say it's Islamism, is what you follow, but the Quran says Islam. So are you saying that, for example, would be a corruption?
you said the Quran say what? The only religion is Islam.
The religion with Allah is Islam. Inna dina and Allah huwa Islam. So 319. That's the surah and ayah.
Surah 319. Hold on, let me get it real quick. Because you know the word Islam, when you break it down, the triconsonantal root It's shimlim meme. You know what that? You know what shimlim meme mean, right?
It's seen. It's seen. There's no sheen in the Arabic. The
Well, it
sheen in the
derives from
Arabic language. It has a sheen. Like
it
it's not. It's
derives
a
from the
different.
Hebrew, but it derived from the Hebrew word shalom. Salam derived from the Hebrew word shalom, came first, and
But
that word.
The Quran says that it is
But
an
what I'm
Arabic
saying,
book.
okay, but in the Arabic, it's SLM. It's still the same thing. SLM. It's still the
No, no,
same
no, 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 no.
transcendental root.
Sheen is a
Okay,
separate letter than seen.
in Arabic, what is it in Arabic? Synonym mean?
Seen lam meme. Yes,
Synonym. All right, what okay, cool. We
and it means
established
submission. It
it's,
doesn't mean
no, it
peace.
doesn't. It doesn't. SLM, the transcontinental root, means peace. It
In
means
Hebrew, you just said.
and that's where the Arabic come from. Arabic ain't just come out of thin air. It has a mother tongue. It's a proto-Semitic language. They all derive from the same thing. It's not different. It means
Right.
completion. It means completion, wholeness, or peace. So the ism is an English word. Islam is an English word, right? And in Arabic, it's not said Islam, right? It's not.
No, it
So
is. It is. What are you talking about? It is. It says Islam.
but it's not how you pronounce it is in Arabic.
In Arabic,
Islam
it's Islam. It's Islam.
is Islam. So
Islam. Yep.
so okay, but okay when we transliterate it into English, it's Islam, right? The same thing. So
The
in the English
transliteration, I don't
in
see
the
the
English
relevance. No offense.
because in Arabic you can't say Islamism, right? There is no
That's what,
Islam.
yeah,
There
yeah.
is no Islamism, but in Arabic, Islam as the religious from the religious aspect, it is the act. It's the action of being a Muslim. It's the action of being in submission. You're not just
No, no, no.
submitting.
That's a
You have to do
misunderstanding of the
things. You
Arabic.
have to do things that. But this is what I'm saying, bro. I'm not trying to get caught up in the semantics of the word. What I'm trying to show you is in expressing Islam and expressing your Islam, expressing your submission to Allah, you have to do things like it's an active thing. It's not just I'm a noun as a person. I'm a acting Muslim, but
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
you know what I'm saying. So in the English we say Islam ism because ism is a suffix that means the action or the practice thereof, which is the action or the practice of peace or
So
wholeness or
do you affirm the verse that says the only religion with Allah is Islam? Do you affirm that verse, or do you say no, that verse
yeah,
is incorrect?
no, I agree with that.
So any other religion except for Islam is falsehood.
No, I'm not. We not. No, we don't adhere to that because we respect other people's religion.
That's what I'm
We're not
saying.
going to
It's
tell.
fine. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that in order for you to say I'm Muslim, you have to accept Islam, right? Would you agree with that?
No, in order to be a Muslim, you have to accept that there's one God and you submit to His will.
Bro,
It doesn't say
let
nothing
me.
else outside of
Do
that.
you know that Muslim is an Arabic word that means one who accepts and
Submit.
follows Islam?
It
Muslim,
means one
Muslim,
submit.
Just so I can explain the Arabic, Muslim is like it's the fa'il or the one who is acting in the grammatical sense. So it's the fa'il, the person who is acting upon Islam.
Okay.
So a Muslim, you cannot detach it from Islam. It's one in the it's like saying carpentry and carpenter.
That's not what I'm doing. What I'm trying to tell you, brother, is Islam. If you saying so, actually, what's your question again? That
My
you just
question is, do you affirm the verse? Like the verse says, the only religion acceptable to Allah is Islam. Inna dina inda Allahi wal Islam, right?
right?
So
Okay.
if
Then
you
you
then
said, what does it mean to be a Muslim? So when you take your shahada, what is it? What is it? What does it say? Your shahada say what? There's only one God.
ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan rasulullah.
Yeah. All right. So what does that mean?
There's no deity worthy of worship and truth except Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger.
Okay. Cool. So that's your shahada. What's the five pillars of Islam?
It's the shahada, والزكاة, والصيام, والصلاة, والزكاة, والحج من استطاع إليه سبيلا. Like the hajj
Okay.
for whoever can do it.
So that's the criteria to be a Muslim.
No, there's more. I mean, like there's things that would take you out of Islam. So like basically you can't come into something with a negator. You can't say I believe in God as one and then believe in the Trinity at the same time. Would you agree?
No, because that's not what we adhere to. That's not what we say.
So you believe that the Trinity is monotheism.
We believe that, yeah. So according to what we learn, we believe that there is a triune God. We don't call it
Oh,
a Trinity.
wait. So okay. Well, sorry. Guess I'm learning this. Triune God is who, according to the Moors.
So according to our doctrine, it's Allah.
No, I understand, but if it's triune, what are the three? Christians will say three persons, right? So what do y'all say?
So we say it's wisdom, will, and love, or
So,
what would be
but we
considered
believe it. But do
the
you understand that as Muslims, we believe in at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not separate from his attributes. And Allah is from his attributes is his wisdom, is his love, is his mercy. And alongside his knowledge, a lot like there's many attributes of God. But like
yeah,
for example, you could be a nice person, but it doesn't mean that your niceness is a personhood of itself. It's just an attribute of you as a person.
right. But at the same time, you're not just composed of just your one person. You have many systems going on in your body. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't tell yourself to breathe. Your body just does that on its own. You don't tell your heart to pump blood.
Yeah,
It
but
does
it's
it
all
on its
part of
own.
one person.
Yeah, but
I feel like quick
exactly,
interjection.
exactly,
I,
exactly. So the
yeah,
Trinity thing is all part of the same entity. Is part of the same entity. We saying the same thing. We're
yeah,
saying
that's
this.
what I was about to say. We saying the same thing. It's like you
It's
just
like
going in
it's like having
circles. You know
a
what I
family,
mean?
right? It's like having a family, right? A family is one family. You got one family, one household. But normally it's made up of a father, a son, and a child or
No,
children.
I get.
This is how
I
we
guess I
see it.
get what you're saying. Because that's what Hindus also say. They believe it's one God, many forms. We still say that that's polytheism. The Quraysh, they had a similar understanding. I mean, if that's all that it's gonna be, then pretty much any polytheist can become a monotheist. I feel like.
No, because that's not polytheism. Polytheism is you got different, you got different gods. And then there's a
Not
hierarchy.
according to the Quran. The Quran actually doesn't say that. The Quran says like so if you was to call unto other than Allah, then that would be a form of polytheism, and that's pretty explicit. Like ولا تدعوا من دون الله إله آخر. Like do not call
Yeah,
unto other
but,
than
but,
Allah
but
another
we don't
God.
we understand that, but we don't call on Jesus, or we don't call on any of the other. We pray to
No,
Allah. We
I understand,
understand
but
it.
you're saying
We
they're not
understand.
polytheists. The people who do that, you're saying that we don't say that they're polytheists, but the Quran says that they are polytheists. So I'm just saying between you and the Quran, there's a difference. That's
No,
why
but you
Muslims
said
are.
no, because you
Yeah, yeah.
said
Go ahead.
Hindus do that, but Hindus don't, they don't worship it. They don't. It's not the same. Krishna, Vishnu, and Shiva are not the same God. You
No,
understand what I'm
no. I
saying?
mean,
It's
it
not.
depends on the Hindu. You're right. You're right. But it depends on the Hindu. There's Hindus that say no, we're monotheists. We just believe in many different forms of the gods. But let's just stick with the Christians, for example. Christians would say there's the different persons of the Trinity, right?
Yeah,
But they make prayers to Jesus.
that's wrong. We
Okay,
don't do
but
that.
so you're saying that that's polytheism or it's not polytheism?
What, praying to Jesus?
Yeah.
It's polytheism. That's where we not Christians, but where the Christians go wrong. That's where Christians go wrong. We also have a different perspective on that whole Trinity thing that's different from them too. But this why we not Christians, but we accept like their theology to an extent because we understand what it's getting at. We differ from them in how we understand that, how we formulate and come to our understanding on that. We differ from y'all in a lot of different in a lot of ways when it comes to the expression of Islam. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, no doubt.
our thing is like, if we can't reconcile it, it's cool. But
It's not about reconciliation. It's just about following what the Quran actually says. If you're saying, I guess
well,
what
we
I'm not,
know what the Quran says.
and I appreciate you having this conversation with me. By the way, I feel like I'm
Islam.
glad I got on the call rather than going back and
We
forth in
appreciate you.
comments.
We
But
Yeah,
what
appreciate you
I'm
jumping on.
thank you, and I'm glad we was able to keep it respectful. My point is the ayah, the 319 that I was really
Islam,
trying to
brother.
hone in on. Yeah, yeah. What?
Islam, brother. What you have to understand as Moorish Americans, we are taught to honor all of the prophets of Allah, Jesus, Muhammad, Confucius, Buddha, Krishna, because we understand that as an energy, as a ruh,
Ruh,
as a
ruh. It's not ruh.
supreme energy, the 99 attributes plus It all comes from one energy that rules every tongue, every spirit. So we are not starch about Prophet Muhammad sallam,
Sallallahu alayhi
because
wasallam.
we understand that that was a prophet of that era who, like Isa sallam, obeyed the laws of Ibrahim. Everything goes back to Ibrahim.
That's the
Even the
action.
word Allah.
No,
because
before
not
Abraham, there was Adam, there was Noah, there was other prophets
Yeah,
before.
whose religion was Muhammad told to follow in the Quran?
Whose religion was he told to follow? Kana Hali. Okay, I'll answer this question. I mean, I guess we probably agree on this, but in the Quran, Ibrahim is described as Hanif and Muslima. So he was a Muslim. So he was Islam. So we agree, I would say, right?
So where do you go to find out about Abraham?
The Quran.
How you gonna find out about Abraham from the Quran? Is Abraham?
Did you read? Wait, honest question, right? There's an entire surah in the Quran called Surah Ibrahim. There's plenty of verses.
But where would the Quran get information on Abraham?
That's a great question. That's a great question. From God, because the Quran is the word of God. Does that make sense?
But Abraham exists in the Bible. Okay, and God, the same God, y'all believe the same God wrote the Bible.
We believe not necessarily in the way that you're trying to say.
But you believe
the Bible is a collection of books that was compiled by men.
But you believe in the Hadith, right?
I'm sorry?
You believe in Hadith, though, right?
What do you mean I believe in Hadith?
Don't your Sahih Hadith say that Muhammad was brought the Torah and he affirmed that he believed in it? He was brought the book in his time. Muhammad existed in 600 AD. He was your Hadith say that he was brought the. I could pull it up. He was brought the book, the Torah. He was sitting down. He moved it. He moved the pillow, put the book down, and said that I affirm this and I believe in it. So
okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. I don't deny that Hadith. Let me ask you a question. Are you saying that Torah is the same Torah that we have today? And what's your evidence for that?
Why would it not be?
Because we actually don't have any evidence of that.
So you're telling me from the time of Muhammad, because Muhammad came after Jesus. So we're not even So we're not even talking about Jesus' time. Muhammad had the actual Torah in his time. Is you telling me between the time of Muhammad up until now, they've switched that Torah? Because y'all don't believe that Jesus had the Torah either.
I'm sorry?
Because y'all don't believe Jesus had the real Torah either. But if your Hadith say that
it was corrupted, by the time it got to Jesus, it was corrupted. Yes, it was corrupted. I mean, there's perhaps I could hop on again next week and give you the evidence from within the Bible that even the prophets in the Bible themselves affirm.
I know what verse you're talking about. Where you said the pen of the scribe, right?
That's one of them, yeah.
That doesn't mean they changed the text of the scripture. They saying that means, and I could give you the or mission, the Mishnah, there's where they break this down, and it's saying that they create the same thing the Quran says about that they distorted it and they created their own doctrines and started promoting it as divine. Same thing that y'all do with the Hadith. It's not divine. It's not from Allah. It's from
no. The Quran actually does affirm that the Hadith are divine. You might have missed it.
The Quran
it does. You want the evidence?
It is the Hadith that's defined. The Quran affirms that it is Allah's Hadith.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Other Hadith, brother.
No. Let me ask you a question, right? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى, He does not speak from His own desires about Muhammad, right? If the Hadith is the speech of Muhammad, so alayhi salatu salam.
No, it's
right?
not. It's not, bro. It's what people said Muhammad said. It's not
the same thing with the Quran. Wait a second. The same way we have the Quran today, it was preserved through the same men that preserved the Hadith. Do you disagree with that?
At the time of Muhammad. By the time you're talking the Hadith that came 200 years after Muhammad. By the time
No. The Hadith didn't come 200 years after Muhammad.
Yes, it did, brother.
No, it didn't. Bro, I know what you're saying. You're saying it was compiled into a book. You're saying it was compiled into a text years after. But if you look at those chains, there's names that have existed from the time of the Sahaba themselves. And there's books. You're talking about Bukhari, by the way, or either Bukhari or Muslim or these books. There's books that predate them. There's previous earlier books of Hadith.
Where?
Imam Malik himself. Imam Malik al-Muwatta is older than Bukhari.
I gotta see
Bro, but
this.
here's what I'm saying. You don't know about one of the biggest muhaddithin, the
Bro,
biggest
you believe,
scholars of
listen,
hadith, Imam
y'all
Malik,
believe
but you want to
hadith
talk
that
about
says
hadith.
that.
It's not appropriate.
Look, but this is what y'all go off of. Y'all use the hadith to validate the Quran that says that things like Muhammad had Aisha scrubbing semen off of him, and he went to pray and he had stains on him. Like, come on, man. Like, you serious?
Yo, yeah, he should have thrown it in the washing machine. Is that what you're saying? What's the problem with a wife washing semen off of clothes? Honestly, tell me what's the problem with that?
Bro, all right, bro.
No,
I have a
genuine
question.
What's the
Islam.
problem with
question
washing?
for the brother.
Or would you prefer he goes?
No,
like
I would prefer him get a clean set of clothes instead of wearing the clothes that he had on him. Why would then you got other stuff that's
because he was humble, because he didn't spend. He would.
So you believe that the Kaaba's gonna grow eyes and a mouth for you and intercede.
Why are you hopping around now? Why are you hopping around? Why don't you stick to the one about
That's
the
what the hadith says, though.
because you came on this is our thing.
No, that's fine.
I
I'm just letting you lead the convo.
But
You said
okay,
I
excuse
questions.
me.
I told you I don't want to interrupt. If you want me to come again next week, or you and I speak alone another time,
excuse
that's
me.
fine.
we can
Sir,
do that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so who wrote El Quran?
Who wrote the Quran?
Mhm.
The Prophet sallallahu. That's a great question. I can tell you.
How
but
is
you
that
can't tell
when
me.
when Jabril ordered him
I can tell you.
Ikra,
Do you want the answer?
and he says La Ikra, he could not read or write in his own language.
That's
So
not.
how
Wait
could
a second.
Muhammad
You're asking me a
write the
question. Do you want an
Quran?
answer? You asked me a question. Do you want the answer?
Well,
Go
I
ahead,
haven't
brother.
finished asking you the question.
Go ahead.
How
Go
can
ahead.
Prophet Muhammad wasallam write the Quran when he was illiterate in his own language?
So had
So
to
that
be other
means
people, right?
man wrote the Quran. Man
So you're saying other people wrote the
wrote
Quran,
the
right?
Quran about Prophet Muhammad wasallam.
No. Now you mixing it up, because if you're saying it's about the Prophet and rather than it being the words of God, you got it completely wrong. Completely wrong. And you should know that, honestly.
Remember, after Jabril came to Prophet Muhammad, he didn't even know what his vision was. He went.
How
to
do you know
Khadijah,
that? It's from the Hadith. You're getting this information from the Hadith.
No, brother.
Where'd it come from? Is it in the Quran? Tell me the ayah that says
Prophet
that.
Muhammad, after he got his vision from Jabril,
Yes.
what did he do after that? Did he start
tell you that
writing
in
a
the
book?
Hadith, in the Hadith literature, it mentions that he went to his wife. It mentions he went to his wife. Now you tell me from the Quran, because you don't believe in Hadith, what actually happened. You're making this story up, or you got it from Hadith. It's one of the two, because it's not in the Quran, right?
Well, you in the beginning you said that you follow the Hadith.
Right, so
I
you
understand.
scoffing at the hadith
I do.
now?
I
That's what I
follow
don't
the Hadith.
understand.
So now you're discrediting the Hadith.
But you just said
No,
you
I'm not.
scoffed. You're
I'm saying
scoffing
the
at
Hadith
it.
is right. I'm saying that's actually what happened. But I'm saying for you, you have no legs to stand on, because you don't even affirm the Hadith.
Dear brother, I am a Moorish American.
Yes.
I am taught by my prophet, El Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali Wasalam, to honor all of the religions of the world. So I am not prejudiced toward any other religion.
But the
I
Quran
will
is
not
prejudiced.
take any other religion and say it is haram because it is not Islam.
But the Quran says that.
I don't have
the
that
Quran literally
power.
says that.
Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has that power.
And he says that in his book. He says it.
So,
he says the only religion is Islam.
being
That's what I'm trying to
honest-
point out. I started with that.
Being
Yeah,
honest,
but
my
what
brother.
he's saying is only Allah can judge and say, you know, you are wrong for practicing your religion. It's not up to men to tell other men that what they, you know, that their religion is wrong.
If God tells me something, if God tells me that following other than Islam is not the correct religion, which it does say in 319.
That's for
now,
you.
if I go tell other people that, am I doing something wrong? Yes or no?
No. What I'm saying is you have the right to go out and preach what you want. But when you start trying to impose on, like, you can't go, you're gonna go to now if a Hindu comes to you and he wants to debate and you want to tell him, look, according to my religion, what you're doing is but if you
no, it's not according to my religion, it's according to God.
According to your God. Because if
you're
talking,
which God? So are you saying that you and I don't have the same God?
Another person, listen, if you're talking to another person that don't honor your God, then you're gonna say according to my God or my religion. That's what I mean. I'm not saying like
No,
I'm
no,
trying to
no.
get
That's
twisted.
you. I don't say that. I say according to
let me,
God. I'm firm in
Okay,
my
well,
faith.
according to God, but in that person's mind, it's according to your God. That's what I'm saying.
No,
This is what I
yeah,
mean.
but
This is
then
what I
that's
mean.
why you have a lot of converts,
You have
bro.
such a hard time even. You can't even we can't even dialogue because you can't even accept a hypothetical conversation. Like
No,
I
I've
don't
had these
get where
conversations.
you
It's not
coming from.
hypothetical to me.
but
I'm
hold
telling
on,
you,
hold
this is
on, hold
how
on.
I conduct this
Let's
conversation.
In another person's
let's
mind.
digress. Hold on. Let's digress.
What's up?
I was gonna say, let's digress for a second.
Sorry. My name is Ibrahim, by the way. Just
I
so
was
y'all
gonna
know.
ask you, Ibrahim. I was just about to ask you your name.
Yeah, and yours?
Now, my name is Quivion Nasir L. So
Quivion.
my question, yes. So my question for you is, okay, we kind of agreed on certain things, right? Your biggest drawback is, the whole idea of us explaining to you that hadith, it has many contradictions, as
No, that's
does
not
the
my
Bible,
drawback.
correct? Okay, so hold on.
My
So
drawback is I
hold on.
believe you
Okay.
don't affirm the Quran. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm
So
saying the
right, and
Quran
that's what I
says.
was leading to. But hold on, let me talk. Let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
So are you coming here tonight to tell us that we are not Muslims because that's a common thing that we hear?
No,
Because you're
I'm not.
saying that we're contradiction because again, we're not affirming the Quran when we just clearly agreed on many facets, letting you know that we believe in the Quran, but your argument keeps going back to hadith.
No, it's
And
not.
hadith doesn't affirm the Quran.
Okay. Thank you for your thoughts. I'm gonna say this. Thank you guys for having me. I swear to God, I'm literally in front of the masjid. I gotta go in to pray Taraweeh, but I will hop on next week. But here's what I'm gonna say. Quran was my objection when I got on. I said verse 319 says the only religion acceptable to Allah is Islam. Inna dina inda Allah is Islam. The only religion to Allah is Islam. I was asking y'all, do you affirm that or not? Because another ayah in the Quran says, أَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ. Do you believe in some and not believe in others? So that's why I was asking about the corruption and these things. Now, if you say the Quran is corrupted, the Quran within it says, إِنَّا نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا عَلَيْهِ لَحَافِظُونَ. We are the ones, Allah is speaking, we are the ones that revealed this Quran and we are the ones that preserve it. So if you deny that it's preserved, then you are saying that this verse is false, and then you are disbelieving in the Quran, and you fall into that category of those people who disbelieve in part of the book and believe in part of the book. That's all I was trying to say. I'm not trying to tell you you're not a Muslim or anything. The Quran's pretty clear.
But I don't think anybody said that there was a major corruption or anything with the Quran. The only thing
Akeem did. Akeem said this corruption.
What is your nationality, brother?
I'm from North Africa.
Okay.
Please don't be vague with Moors, brother.
Are you
what
Moroccan,
is your nationality?
I'm from North Africa. I'm from one of those countries in North Africa.
Where
actually, I don't mind
North
saying I'm from Tunisia. I'm from Tunisia.
Tunisia. I was gonna ask you that. Tunisia, Algiers, all that. So okay, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you jumping on this call, man. Like we don't dodge any questions, obviously, and you more than welcome to come and ask.
No, I appreciate that. You didn't dodge. You didn't dodge anything on the call. On Instagram comments, the brother, the Akeem does dodge comments. 100%, he dodges comments. I got on the call because he dodged comments.
Brother, I don't dodge comments. You know how many comments is up there? I don't.
Not that many.
Hundreds.
Not that many. I'll tell you what. It's
but
not
listen,
that many.
brother. Listen.
Listen.
That's not my. First off, listen. I work for myself. I run a business. I'm a minister.
I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I do other things. When I have the time to jump on, today's Friday, today holy day, I ain't even really want to be in and out the comments like that. So
I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, we appreciate you jumping on. We appreciate the questions you want.
And I'll be back. Well, if you don't want me back,
as a matter of fact, you reserve a time and a place for us to have this discussion.
Perfect.
Because it is extremely disrespectful.
I asked beforehand. I said I don't want to interrupt. Please don't accuse me of being rude. I said I don't want to interrupt. Is there a time?
But you did.
Please don't accuse me of being rude.
But you did.
No, I asked, and then you allowed me to. Don't pretend like I didn't ask or I didn't get permission from y'all.
I'm really not the diplomatic type, sir. I'm really not the diplomatic type. We were on a completely different conversation when you came in. So the only thing I'm suggesting is let's have a civilized dialogue on another specific day and a specific time, because the next time you come in on our holy day, the words will not be kind.
Words don't hurt, brother, but let's get on a call.
You're right, brother. You got an address? I'm not the one to play games.
Oh.
We were discussing our
deen. For the sake of God. I swear
we were speaking our deen.
Yeah, he gone.
Y'all know I don't play that garbage. You're not gonna come on our call and push al-Islam on us. No.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
All I'm gonna say is Moore's, you know, that is just a taste of what we will receive from the, you know, the bigger international field. You know what I mean? The least of our worries is all of the crap that's going on. So, you know, but you know, again, like that's to be expected in the future. So
I've said this once today, I'll say it again. That's why Noble told us we were Muslims. He wanted us to be distinct from Muslims.
you just said that today too. Yep.
So saying that would have squashed everything he was talking about. It would have been really simple.
Well, I mean, that's what I was trying to get in.
We don't need that man address. We don't need nothing from that man. What we need him to understand is that we stand a certain position and you stand a certain position. Okay, we understand. My Grand Sheikh is thorough on his Quran lessons, on his Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple lessons, his Holy Bible lessons. Y'all can go back and forth. That's great. But
not on our holy day.
Exactly.
Because we
not
wouldn't
today.
go to your mosque on Juma.
And you know that wouldn't happen in there. No, that would not happen today. He know
so after
that
a while,
wouldn't
my
happen
blood
in
was
Juma.
boiling like, bruh, where do you get the gonads to come on somebody else's religious day and start a dialogue completely contrary to what the subject matter was of that day? Where do you get the gonads?
Yeah, your kahunas got too big for you. And you're in a house full of Moors.
Even though you're supposed to be a Moor.
He is a
that's
Moor.
why I asked his nationality.
And
I was hoping he didn't say Arabia. I was really going to get in on him.
He didn't want to tell you for the simple fact when he said Tunis, you already knew he was a Moor.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he didn't want to tell. He kept saying North Africa. Okay, listen, we understand that North Africa was the Moors. Stop playing with us.
Yeah, I was gonna tell him that. That's what Moorish implement about empires.
He knew that. That's why he didn't want to say. We got to read some people too.
Oh
no, listen, brother, we don't have to read nobody, because at the end of the day, he wouldn't dare go into a Jewish synagogue and try to preach to them. See, these Arabs of the world, these Muslims of the world, they believe that we have no religion and no culture. And they have no reason to respect our religion and our culture.
Islamism.
This is why he's on here trying to teach the lost brethren their deen.
Nah, I can't do that though.
That was my question to him, like, because his point was to come here and say and disrespect us and say that we weren't Muslims, because that's where the conversation ends at. Like that's where it ended at. You cannot say, you know, he tried to blanket it with, you know, oh, you don't, I just want, y'all don't adhere to the Quran, y'all don't adhere to Allah. No, you just want, your point is to say that we're not Muslims, which is not a Muslim thing to do. So what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, that didn't hurt nobody's feeling on the call, because we know we're Muslims.
Right.
Again, the thing is, right, like, regardless of, you know, this is why I say, you know, as far as, because there's like two sides to it. You know, there's the academic side, and then there's the religious side. You know what I'm saying? There's that side where we just, you know, we practice our tenets and our creed and, you know, our rituals and our ceremonies and stuff like that. Then there is that academic side where, you know, people are looking into everybody's theology. And as ministers, like, it's part of our job to be able to defend our deen, because it's gonna be questioned. Like, again, I'm not sure if everybody on the call know, but there was an individual in the Prophet Nobledrewali's time that went all the way to Egypt and got 3 fatwas against Prophet Nobledrewali. The Prophet happened to pass away that year, and the dude never was able to come back to the Americas and push what he was able to establish. But the Prophet would have had to deal with that. And we don't know what would have happened to the Moors. You know what I'm saying? Some of them would have probably went off like they doing now. They go Sunni, they go Shia, they go this way, they go that way. But again, I was asking too. Muhammad wasn't a Sunni. Muhammad wasn't no Shia. Muhammad ain't the only hadith Muhammad followed in the Quran tells him that if he doubts something, to go to those that knew the books before him. So go to the Christians and the Jews. So we don't use hadith. We use the Bible. If there's something in the Quran that doesn't make sense to us, this is the difference. And I was going to get to that, but this is why I try to teach y'all and show y'all certain things when it comes to this deen that we have and this doctrine that we have. Because again, we derive our power and authority from the Quran of Muhammad. You know, the Prophet told us, return to the state of mind of our foremothers and forefathers, divine and national. They was Muslims. They was coming out of this book all the way. So we can't deny this book. You know what I'm saying? We can't deny the Holy Bible. Right? You know what I'm saying? They say the Prophet told us not to throw our Bibles away. So we could we could deal with these different degrees. And again, that's why I like to stress certain things which are on this specific subject matter. I'm glad the brother jumped on the call. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who he is. Like, there's so many people that's on that Instagram page, but I'm glad that interaction happened. You know what I'm saying? Because now y'all get to see where their perspective is. You know, and the Moor's right. This is a reality. You know, we're gonna have to deal with. Like, matter